Well, hey there, hi there, and hello, my fellow entrepreneurs from all around the world. How are you doing on this very fine day? It's actually a really hot day here in Australia, and I don't know, it's hot. This video is for you if you are struggling with making decisions in your business. I have 6 quick tips in order to help you make decisions faster. Now, this isn't from a place of I've got to keep up with all my competitors, so I've got to make decisions so I can move fast. This is just a case of maybe not taking 2 months on something, making a decision when you could make, a decision in a couple of days. And as a former recovering perfectionist, this is something that I've had to learn for myself, so that's why I'm passing it on. Before I dive into the details and all of that good stuff, I'm just going to quickly introduce myself. I am Tiffany from tiffanygstudios. I am a client attraction specialist, and I help coaches, consultants, service providers to stop the whole struggle around finding clients, but instead learn how to confidently attract them to you so that you can easily make money by being yourself. If you are interested in my 3 secrets of client attraction, type 3 secrets below. I'd love to hear from you, and I would also equally just as much enjoy sending you through information on how to access that. So let's dive in to decision making. My 6 quick tips. So first up, just before I dive into the tips, I just want to quickly explain why I'm kind of passionate about making decisions faster. Like I did say before, it's not about keeping up with the Joneses, your competitors, that kind of stuff. But for me, it's just a case of, let me explain this with the story of the pots. This was the plan, and this will make more sense when I explain the story. So there was this, what do you call it? An experiment that was done in this, and it was done in this pottery class setting, okay? So we had this group, and they were split into 2 groups. Now, both groups were told to create the perfect pot. But one group, they were told to create a pot every single day, okay? Then you have the other group, they were told to, they could make a couple of prototypes, come up with their perfect pot, but they weren't instructed that they had to make a pot every single day. So they had about 3 or 4 months to do these pots. At least I think that's the case. If you actually know this story and I'm mucking it up, hopefully you see that I'm keeping to the overall gist of it, right? But the idea here is, at the end of this time period, they looked at the pots that came from both groups, and what they found was the group that did a pot every single day, they came out of it with better looking pots, they were stronger, they would stand a test of time, that kind of stuff, compared to the other group, because you needed that iteration, that practice. You needed to fail in order to succeed. And this can be what sometimes holds us back from making decisions in our business, because we are worried about either making the perfect decision or not making the wrong decision, okay? So these are my 6 tips because this is something that I want to embody, right? I want to move forward with my business. I want to keep putting offers out there so that I can learn from my mistakes, change things, and the longer it takes me, the more I can get stuck in analysis paralysis, procrastination, all these other things, and it leads into other areas of my business, and it makes me feel like I'm not moving forward. Okay, so this is why I believe in making decisions faster. Let me know below if you even agree with this. I imagine if you're still watching, you probably do and are interested in my tips. If not, let me know why. Let me know why you like to take time on them, okay? And obviously, you're going to take some time with some decisions, that's the way of the world. But some things can be done a bit faster and can be, worked on. So my 6 tips. Number 1 is take the emotion out of it, okay? So like I was saying before, that whole perfect decision or not making the wrong decision is removing that emotion so that you can kind of look at things from a situation where you can make decisions. And the thing is, there is no such thing as a perfect decision, and there's no such thing as a wrong decision. There's just decisions, okay? And then if you realize that you make a decision, you may get an outcome you might not be happy with, but you can make more decisions to get to new places or to come back to your status quo. You'll also be really surprised at how easy it is to get back to your status quo. Like, for example, I left my job in order to go travel in Mexico for a couple of months, and I was, working on my business, that kind of thing. And it was really nerve-wracking. I thought, oh my God, this is a whole life change or whatever. And then I found that the digital nomad lifestyle didn't work for me. I came back to Australia and I actually got my old job back. You'd be surprised at how easy it is to get back to your status quo. And when you know that, it can be a lot easier for you to experiment and to make some difficult decisions in your life in order to move your business forward, okay? If you make the wrong decision about like what software to use for your website, you can sort of more easily make other decisions to get back to where you need to go. And the other thing that I want you to know is there's actually been a study done where they found that more money was lost by indecision in business than making the wrong decision. So I'll just say that again, more money, like people who procrastinated on making the decision, more money was being lost in that time than the businesses who made the wrong decision and moved forward with their business. Because you make the wrong decision, you can correct, you do something, you learn from it, that kind of stuff. So let's dive into my 6 tips. This is not going to be a short video, but these 6 tips are going to be pretty quick. So, I did already say take the emotion out of it. And my second tip, sorry, I just mucked that up, didn't I? My second tip, flip a coin. And that's not a case of leaving your decisions up to the gods and that kind of thing. This is a case of tapping into your gut feeling about something, right? So if you're tossing up between something in your business, like, do I make 3 pieces of content a week as my ongoing strategy, or do I make 4 pieces of content a week as my ongoing strategy? I don't know if that's a good decision. I have no idea if people are like me and like some of that stuff just tracks around in their brain for too long. But when you flip a coin, 3 pieces for heads, 4 pieces for tails, you flip the coin, you look at your result, and your initial feeling is like 3 pieces. Then that was the right decision. That's how you feel about it, okay? You know that it makes you feel good, and that's the way to move forward. Just a bit of a caveat, just watch out for things that you have to do in your business that are outside of your comfort zone. Like for me, maybe having to pitch potential podcasts to be a guest. Some of that stuff, like maybe I might go, oh, I don't want to do that, but I know that I have to. So that's where some of my other strategies might work a little bit better if it's something that's out of your comfort zone and you're a little bit, I don't want to say scared or afraid of doing, but you're not as keen to jump in. My next thing is to set a time limit, okay? So this has been really, really effective for me because I can kind of sort of say, I'm going to make a decision on that in 48 hours, or I lock it into my calendar. 5 p.m. on Thursday, I'm going to decide on this thing. And I'm going to make the decision and then I'm going to move on. Because it's the problem when you let these decisions pile up, it just adds this extra mental load. And that's this mental load that you can be using for other things in your business, which is another reason why I like to kind of make decisions faster. So it's not adding to my mental load, that accumulation. My next one, make a pro and con list. Now, before you roll your eyes, I too used to hate the idea of a pro-con list. I used to think, come on, man, I don't need to write this down. I can do this in my head, right? So here's my cons, and then I'd get through a couple of cons, and I'd switch to the pros, and then I'd be like, yeah, that's how I feel. But when I actually was made, really encouraged and kind of was working through something, and I kind of thought, look, I'm just going to try this because it's just, I'm going in circles. And I actually sat down and wrote it out. It was this way of actually helping me get a distance from it. And I could see it on paper and really work through kind of logically. And even though emotions about certain things might come up, I could see it on paper and really feel like that. And for me, I don't just like look at which side is bigger and smaller. It's a case of just helping me to map out my thoughts. Plus it helps get them out of my head so they stop rattling around and I can focus on other stuff. So sometimes I might write down my pro-con list and then think, okay, cool, it's there, and I'm going to come back to this at 5 o'clock on Thursday, and then I will look at this again and I'll make my final decision. But I let it marinate in my subconscious a bit, but not all the details, right? So that's something that has helped me. Number 5, and you may not want to hear this, but this is just my personal opinion, just don't ask friends for help. Just stop asking friends for help. Stop asking people's opinions on what you should do, okay? And I know that this is really going to show you my personality type versus others. I know some people, they really want to bounce ideas with other people, that kind of stuff. I'm not saying not to do that, but just saying, like, don't feel like you've got to get everybody's input before you make your decision, because it's going to slow things down, but also it's going to sort of subtly tell yourself that you're not good enough to make your own decisions. And that means that you won't be confident enough to make more decisions, because one thing we have in business is tons of decisions to make. Am I right? Am I right? So I kind of say, just don't ask your friends for help. The other thing too is it kind of encourages them to sort of jump in and have an opinion on everything you do, even if you haven't asked them. So just, I don't know, stop or cut it back a bit, just 2 to 3 trusted people maybe. So if you're a certain personality type, you're probably going to know what I mean. You're probably going to hate that idea, but still, it helps me make decisions faster, and it helps me get more confident in my ability to make my own decisions. My final one is, tip number 6 is just do it. Okay, just make the decision, right? I know if you make the decision, sometimes you get that feeling like after I've booked a trip or something like that, I get this feeling of, oh my God, what have I done? Or I've just spent so much money, what have I done? But that's kind of this like false feelings. Like I said, there's no such thing as a wrong decision. There are just decisions, okay? And yes, you may not be as happy with the outcomes, but you can make new decisions to get to new places. And as long as you're confident in your ability of that and understand that it's way easier to get back to your status quo than you ever thought possible, then you can always, there's nothing that really can't be undone generally, like not counting medical stuff, you know what I mean, right? But in business generally, there's nothing that can't be undone. Those are my 6 tips for making faster decisions. Let me know below. Is this something you're interested in? Do you agree? Do you have your own ways of making faster decisions? Or do you think that fast decision making is for the birds and you're just happy to take your own time and that's how it is? And I mean, faster is such a subjective term anyway. What does that really mean? For some people it's a couple of days. For some people it could be a few hours, whatever. So, but hopefully this helps you with your business. Thank you so much for your time and for tuning in. I'm Tiffany from tiffanygstudios, and that's it from me. Bye for now.